Happy New Year, my friends. Today I have a special treat for you. We are going to count down my top 21 crafts and DIYs of 2021. I have a bunch of different styles and seasons and holidays, and I can't wait to go back in time and look at all my transformations and growth. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey. This first project is a complete wooden board that I got for free from my thrift store clean out I did with my husband. I'll put the link down in the description. And here I just painted this with plaster, all one color, and I'm cutting up these little transfers. I've used these in the past, and now I'm gonna use them again. I'm really excited. They're super easy and super pretty, and I'm cutting them all out so it will spell out the word home. And I think this is super sweet and super cute and super easy. So all you do is peel it off and you lay it down and then you rub it. And you gotta really rub it. I don't rub it as long because I edited it out for you guys, but you do have to really push down and really rub them. And so I just started in the middle of my board and I did my O first, and now I'm working on my M. And I figured if I did these two letters first, it would be a little easier getting the H and the E on. So these are super cute, and I just picked out which flowers I thought would look nice with these letters. And I love this so much. And like I said, it's so easy. And I really think it comes out so pretty. So if you have the means and the time, shop on Amazon. Look for these guys. They are so sweet. I have the link down in my description. I think it is such a nice addition to any project. And you guys can see I am just rubbing it on and peeling it off. It is that simple. This project was super quick and super easy. I can't even tell you how long I took to do this. It wasn't that long except for the rubbing. Let me know down in the comments if you've used these transfers before and how much do you love them. I am in love with this, like obsessed with it. I love this so much. I have 3 books here from the Dollar Tree, and I am painting them in my Rust-Oleum linen white. I give them 2 coats, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other. So I have my hot glue and my E6000, and I'm just gonna lay them on top of each other. I didn't paint the book all the way around because it was in the middle, and no one's gonna see it. I had printed off a saying, "She who plants a garden plants happiness," and I printed it right from my printer, and I wrote on the back of the paper, tracing out the letters, and now I'm going over it with another pencil so it transfers the pencil onto the books. Although it's a little light, so I did have to go over it, and I wrote everything out so I can see where I'm going to be writing. And this is just a Sharpie in gold. Maybe it's copper. I'm not sure. I thought this was going to be a better idea than using paint. And I really like it. It's very light and it doesn't run. And it was quick to dry. I'm thinking of you. I'm using that Tim Holtz collage paper that I used on my previous stool project, which I'll put in the description if you haven't seen that. But all you do is lay the Mod Podge down pretty thick, and it actually doesn't even have to be thick, but that's how I did it. And then I just rubbed the paper over it, and then I Mod Podged it again. I didn't let it dry. I just did it while it was fresh, and I do it for just random spots on the books. I thought it was going to be super cute. I thought it would match the saying. And the paper I had gotten from Tim Holtz, it came with 3 different designs. So I thought this was going to be a perfect design. And now I'm layering it right here on the 3 books. So I take my knife and I just cut it so it looks like it was meant individually for each book, if that makes sense. But I think it came out so cute and super simple. And you don't even have to put the Mod Podge underneath it. Like if you miss a spot, you just have to use a lot of Mod Podge on top of it. And this paper is super thin, so you definitely want to be gentle with your fingers. I felt like I was missing something here, so I did another little flower, and again, just cut around the books to make it look like it was meant for each individual book. And I just love this project so much. I think it came out so sweet. I go through and I do Mod Podge on everything. I went heavy on it just to make sure there was going to be no problems. I do go and hot glue the pages inside just to make sure that nothing moves. But how sweet is this? Oh my goodness. I love that Sharpie with the flowers. I think it is just so perfect. For you. This is my next project. How adorable was that? This is hanging up in my bathroom. All it is just a canvas. You can get these at the dollar store. I got this one at Michael's when I ordered a whole bunch of them for Black Friday. They ended up being like $1 each, or less than $1. So it was a great deal, and I'm happy I got them all. And I'm just cutting off the canvas on it because I'm going to use it again as the backing. So I didn't want to just rip it off willy-nilly. So I went gingerly around to get it all off. And I think it came out pretty easy. Here I'm just cleaning up the edges for the canvas so nothing hangs over, because I'm going to do a reverse canvas. I'm sure you guys have seen that before. It's just where you put the canvas on the other side so that way it looks like a framed picture. And I think it just looks so cute like that and has a definite rustic feel to it. Now this is just me measuring up some brown craft paper. I really like this paper. It's durable. You can use Mod Podge on it. You can stencil it. So here I'm just measuring it out so it fits into the frame, and this is where I'm going to be putting the words. If you're returning, you guys know I love to measure. I measure triple, I don't even know, maybe 6 times. I have a thing about measuring and making sure everything is perfect. I have a little bit of OCD, but that's not too bad. So just trying to make it perfect so that way it lines up and there's no overhang when you see it hanging up. Here I'm just Mod Podging the edges. I didn't do the entire paper because I wanted it to almost kind of like look wavy or look antique-y, so I just did the edges, and you'll see how it came out. But it came out really great, and this is just the style I went for. But normally when I'm putting these papers down, I do the entire paper. But like I said, I wanted to have a little bit of a crinkled, maybe wavy effect. Here's the wooden insert that it was in the canvas that I took out, and I painted it with an apple barrel timeless gray, and I only did 1 coat on it because I wanted it to, you know, have like not a distressed look, but you know, a little bit of a worn look. So this is something I printed off of my Cricut. Normally, I like to design my own pictures just so I have something that I made and it's not like a, what everybody else has. But this was just so cute. I found it in the store and I thought it was adorable. And they had a really good sale. They had 50% off. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to use it. And I loved it. I loved how adorable it is. It goes definitely with the theme I was looking for. I wanted that rustic and country store kind of look, and I thought it came out just perfect. And I can tell you though, this was not an easy job because it had a lot of cutouts and I was gonna stencil it, so trying to figure out what I needed to weed out and what was staying was kind of difficult, and I wasn't sure exactly how I was gonna do it. And it came out so cute, and it just kind of was a little bit of taking the pieces that didn't pull up and having to put them back down and remembering what everything was. So I had to keep looking at my phone to see what it looked like, but I think it came out so adorable. Doesn't that just scream general store? Oh, I love it so much. I'm just pushing down the transfer paper just so I can get a really good hold on it and trying to pick out which color I want for the letters. I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I ended up finding it. I laid the stencil where I wanted it, and now I'm just removing all the transfer paper, which was a little difficult. I had to use some muscles on this, but that's okay. I got it. Everything turned out just fine. So here I'm just painting over the stencil, and again I used apple barrel chocolate sprinkle. I'll put it down in the description. And I did 2 coats of this. I did use my heat gun to help me a little bit, just so it didn't rip on the craft paper. I could feel it pulling a little bit. I did rip it in one spot, but when I Mod Podged it after, you couldn't even tell. But the heat gun definitely saved me. I've heard people use blow dryers and hair dryers, and I'm sure that works just fine. The heat gun was something I got off of Amazon. I saw, one of the other crafters using it, and I loved it, and I went down to her description and I went right onto her store and boom, bought it. I loved it, and ever since then I've used it for every project. So it's definitely $18, I think. It's definitely money well spent to help speed up your project a little bit and help when it comes to pulling up stencils when you're on paper. So I just Mod Podged the entire project. Like I said, one little piece of paper ripped, and this helped it hold down. And then also, because I wanted it in my bathroom, I wanted it to have a wipeable surface. So, you can't soak it, but if it's dusty or, something gets on it, you can wipe it down. So I definitely wanted to Mod Podge it and just protect it. And as you can see here, it has a shiny effect to it, and I got that little wavy effect I was looking for. I wasn't really hoping it to be, wrinkly, but I wanted it to look wavy. And I think it just looks adorable. And I love the gray that I used. It was my first time using that color, and I think it just worked out so perfect. And it matched the brown that I picked for the stencil, so I love that. And I'm just cleaning up the edges so I don't have any overhang. Like I said, a little bit of OCD, just a little bit. And I stapled it in for more security. I started on one side, did the other side, and then made sure everything was straight. And then I went back and added more security to it. And this is just a sawtooth hanger. I'm just adding this to the top of it so I can hang it up in my bathroom. I like this for lightweight crafts. I think it's nice, just a little nail. You don't have to use a huge nail on your wall for something like this. It's very light. And that's it. How adorable is that? I love it so much. It's so cute. I'm making more. I have to. I just think it's so cute. And everybody who's come to my house wants one. I have some trash to treasure transformations to show you. Let's get started. This one I'm so excited about. I have, definitely so many crafters that I love on YouTube. I don't think I could even name them all right now. There are just so many of them that I love and they inspire me. And bread boxes is one of them. So I told myself, whenever I go to a thrift store or a Goodwill or an estate sale, I have to look for a bread box. And I found one and I was so happy. And it wasn't even like a solid wood one, but it painted just fine. And it's super sturdy, so it doesn't matter to me. I think I can just transform anything with some paint, And this is just the front of the bread box that was just held in with like these little pins. So I popped the pins out and I took this off. I figured I'd get a better paint with this if I had it flat and I could get all the little edges of it. And again, I'm using that same paint that I used last time. It's just a plain paint from Walmart, antique white. I really like this color. I like to use, the same color on most of my pieces just because, one, it's budget friendly, but everything matches, I like that cohesive look. So this was a little difficult painting in the inside, only because the brush I was using had a longer handle than what the spacing was on the walls. So definitely I need to get a smaller handle brush, but I still did it. And after I let it dry, I just, did one side, then the other, and it worked out fine. But this is definitely you know, this was a tough color to paint over. It had a lot of bleed through. So I think I did about 4 coats on this. I think if it was solid wood, it probably would have been a lot easier. It doesn't matter. The results came out, you know, amazing anyways. And if you saw on the side, there's a little bit of detail. Oh, it's just so adorable. I loved it. So you'll see later on how I had to use some, you know, different brushes to get inside all the little detail spots. So I don't think I got videos of all the layers that I did. This looks like I'm on my second layer here, but like I said, I think I did about 4 layers. This brown was really seeping through, and I wasn't sure if I was going to distress it, so I really didn't want to go with spray paint. I just wanted to use, you know, all the brush paint. But you'll see how this came out. This is the door that goes to the bread box, and it doesn't have a clasp on it. It just releases, you know, it's just held in with little pins, so there's no magnets or anything I had to worry about, except for the other side. You can see where the little rivets were, little things that I had to paint in, but you'll see that again. So here I just did the same thing I did on my other one. I went to my Cameo and I picked a couple different things. I didn't want, you know, cookie cutter kind of bread box. I didn't want the same thing that everybody else has. So I picked a little bit of this and that. And I also use an app on my phone called PicCollage, and so I like to do my own wording and my own fonts, and then in the Cameo I can stencil it out, and that way I make my own designs and I don't feel like, you know, somebody else has seen it somewhere else. And I'm sure, you know, they have some variation of it. So this is just me measuring it just to make sure. You guys know I love to measure things. I measure 3 times before anything, and I just wanted it to, you know, be perfect because I had so many different sizes. I had 3 different stencils I was going to put on there. This is the biggest one, so I really wanted to get this one right in the center and make sure it was even, and then I had room for the other 2 pieces I wanted to do. So here I have all 3 pieces that I worked on, and I stenciled them all together, and I'm just peeling them up now. And these were ones that I had made on my PicCollage, and I used the fonts 𝚠𝚕 and Madriga. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll put them in the description so you guys can see. I did end up distressing it just a little bit, only because it was a little bit of bleed through and I had to scrape away at some of them. So I thought if I distressed it, it wouldn't be so noticeable, and it really isn't. You can't tell that there was any bleed through. And it just, like I said, those little pins just stuck in. I had to make sure, you know, because I painted it, make sure the dried paint was out. So I had to do a little digging in there. Once I got the dried paint out, though, it just slid right in there, and it's just so adorable. And like I said, there was no clasp or anything. It just, when you pull it, it just comes down. But it's a super spacious little box. You know, you could put cookies in it or bread, whatever you wanted in it. I staged it up with a little bit of English muffins and some cookies, but you could really put anything in it. And look at what it looked like before. It's just someone's trash, you know? And it's adorable. I mean, that matches anyone's kitchen. It is so cute. You guys know me and Lazy Susans. I love these so much. So here I'm just cleaning it up with some crud cutter. I spray painted it in the garage with some white. And now I'm just sanding it down to get it nice and fresh and ready for the top coats. Now the paint I used in the garage was just a white Walmart brand, nothing special. But now to paint it, I'm using a chalk paint. And I think this one is called Linen. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it in the description. But I've never used chalk paint on a big piece like this. And this is a huge Lazy Susan. And those spindles in there were literally the worst. They were awful to try to paint. I flipped it over. I did it all different angles. And it was just no fun. So I definitely should have used my sprayer for this. But my first original sprayer blew up on me. My second one I left outside in a snowstorm and it froze. So now I am on the hunt for a new paint sprayer, and definitely something that is better quality and won't explode on me. But this little brush I'm using was pretty amazing. So I'm gonna put it in the description because I'm not sure of the brand, but it was a nice handle, it was easy to use, and it definitely helped with those spindles. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for a stencil, but for some reason this kind of gave me like a nautical feel with the spindles and the way that the handles were. So I was thinking a compass, but I ended up with this design and I really like it. I've used this design in the past on my no-sew pillows. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it in the description for you guys because I love no-sew pillows. But today it is about the flips. And I am just using a white to go over the stencil first to make sure I have no bleed through. Is this your first time on my channel? If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey, make sure if you like this video, you give it a big thumbs up. Also, when you subscribe to my channel, you can see when I upload a new video. I decided on apple barrel black for my color. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do like a gray or a black, but the last Lazy Susan I did was farm to table and it was white and black and I thought it looked so nice. So I did it again this time and I am just in love with the final product. I ended up doing 2 coats and I just went on very lightly and just dabbed it in. And then I did, like I said, the second coat just so that way it was thick, but not too thick, if you know what I mean. I'm using my heat gun here so that way I can melt the vinyl a little bit and I don't pull up the paint underneath, because I've done that plenty of times, and this time with those feathers I am not taking that chance because weeding those feathers out from the vinyl the first time was pretty intricate, so I definitely didn't want to peel anything up. But look how adorable that is. Oh my goodness, I think it came out so cute. And I'm just going through and I'm doing a little bit of touch-ups here and there. I wasn't sure if I was going to distress this, but I think it came out just perfect the way it is. and I'm so happy. I love this. I love the black and white. I love the design. I love all the features of this. I mean, this probably came from like the 80s or something, but now it is refurbished and has a new life to it. Now we're on to project number 2, and this was something not from a thrift haul, but from my grandma's basement. I started out again in my garage. I spray painted it white first, and then I brought it in the house and I sanded it down. I wasn't sure if I should spray paint the whole thing because the wood had like a lot of divots in it and it was super old and dry, but I decided to just paint it. I did the antique white Walmart paint. You buy it right off the shelf. There's no mixing required. I really like this paint. I think it has good coverage and I like the price. Again, I'm using my Cameo and I printed off a really cute stencil, and I ended up, it was actually a bigger stencil, and I cut it in half and I put one half on this side and you'll see one half on the other side. And I'm just laying it down and I'm using the white so that way, again, it doesn't bleed through. You have to be careful sometimes with the wood that's older because it has like divots in it and sometimes the paint can seep under, and you definitely don't want that. So make sure you push all the vinyl down and do a top coat first of the same color that you painted the original piece in. Now I'm going through with a gray, again, apple barrel. I'll put the color name in the description, but it's just a gray. And I did 2 coats on this. I'm using my heat gun again and peeling up the vinyl, doing all the same things I did with my previous stencil, weeding things out and just making sure if I need any touch-ups, I do that, and I let it dry before I'm going on to the next side. If you've been here for a bit, you've seen the transformation in my craft area, or at least the recording space. I'm still trying to find the best camera location on my workspace. Some days I want overhead and sometimes I like a side view. What's your favorite way to watch crafts? Let me know in the comments. I did the same colors that I did on the other side, and I'm just using my heat gun again to peel it up, and then I'm just gonna go in with a little paintbrush and just fix a few of the spots that did pull up a little bit, and then weed out the inner parts of the letters, and then I'm gonna do a little bit more distressing. Distressing is new for me. I'm not a big distresser, but I really want to get into it, and I really love the look of distressing, so I need to practice more, and I thought this would be a good piece to practice on, and I think I did a good job. This is definitely pretty chippy for me. I did distress a couple of projects before, but I made it not so chippy, but this came out so cute, and there's my little model. And I just love this project. I love that I got this piece for free. It is such a solid wood piece. I just love it so much. Again, dollar store items. How cute is this? Let's get right into this because it is so cute. Now, I have to say, this was my first time finding one of these at my dollar store. Again, I know that's crazy, but I've never done this before, and I wanted to paint it completely white and have that like ceramic look to it. And so I wasn't sure what paint to use, and I just used a regular apple barrel white paint to start with. I painted about an inch down on the inside, only because I wasn't sure how high the flowers would come up and I didn't want the metal to be seen. And then I sealed it in with this Krylon Fusion all-in-one sealer. It's a flat, and I really like this. It works on so many different mediums. It is just a great spray. And after it was dry, you can see my little heat gun over there. I dried it and I got back to painting. Now I did a second coat with this apple barrel.
I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on fire. You set my world on fire.
I didn't like the coverage I was getting from the apple barrel, so I ended up going in with my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, and I did one coat of this and it was just enough. It was perfect.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart, what is it that you do?
Other than the paint, these projects were made from Dollar Tree items, and I love that. I also share Shop With Me and Thrift Flip videos every Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Make sure if you like these kinds of videos, you subscribe so you can see when I upload new videos. Which project is your favorite today? You only have 2 to choose from. Now here I am distressing the letters. Again, I've never done this project before because my Dollar Tree doesn't carry these items. So I went in first with my hand sander, and then I thought I could get a little bit more if I bent the sandpaper, and it worked perfect. So I went in and I just distressed each letter just a little bit. I didn't want it to be too much and I didn't want it to be too little, so just perfect.
You set my world on fire. I don't know what I'd do without you.
I did do both sides, and when I was done, I used that Krylon spray sealer again just to make sure nothing was gonna, pinch off or scratch off. I wasn't sure with the chalk paint how that worked on this material, but I think it came out so cute.
You're my heart's desire. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you.
I wanted to have the look of ceramic or porcelain with like the black edge, so I just took my painter's black and I went around the edge. Now this is paint, but you could use a permanent marker. I've seen it done both ways. I just had this out, so I used this and I went all around the edge, and anytime I went over a little bit, you'll see I just kind of colored it in a little bit more, just to make it look, like it was a little bit more distressed, but I didn't purposefully do that. I only did it when I, made a little fub up.
World on fire. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do. I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is.
I went on the top and the bottom and on both sides, and I could have went a little thicker, but again, my first time doing it and I didn't want to overdo it, but I like how it came out. I did go back through and I darkened it up just a little bit just to make sure that the full lip was covered.
I lose my breath whenever I see you. You stole my heart.
You could add floral blocks here to add the flowers. I just had a lot of styrofoam left over from building my craft room and all the boxes that came with the furniture. So I just cut some of that up, which makes a mess. And I'm just fitting it all in there so that way the flowers sit up high, but not too high. You know what I mean? And it was just a little game of Tetris, trying to fit it all in there. And then I used my hot glue, a lot of it, and I just went through the whole top. And I know I said I was never going to use Spanish moss again, but it was so cute that I used it again. And again, it made a mess, but it came out so cute. And I just added all the little edges that fell out, and I just added it as filler.
With you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day. You set my world on.
I don't know if Dollar Tree has stepped up their game or not, but these flowers were so cute. All of them came from the dollar store. There's a little mix of roses and peonies, and I picked colors that they don't match my dining room, but they match my craft room, and I just love the colors. A little bit of whites and a little bit of peaches and pinks, and there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just throwing them down. I had some other ones I was thinking of putting in, but after I put all the flowers in themselves, I really didn't need any extra filler. But whatever flowers are your favorite and whatever calls to you for whatever holiday you're doing, or if it's your spring decor, do that. You know, there's no set flowers you need to do for spring or for a certain holiday. It's whatever you like.
I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, just wanna be with you till we grow old. Please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day.
This is really starting to come together so cute. Oh my goodness. See why I didn't need any filler? Like, the flowers were perfect. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. Guys, so this is a sugar dish, and I hope my ex-mother-in-law doesn't see it because it was hers and now it was mine, and I have not used it for a while, so it is time to redo it. My basement is filled with stuff like this because I'm a hoarder. I keep everything. So anyways, I'm just going through with my apple barrel matte white, and I'm just covering it up. I didn't sand it. I just cleaned it, and I've never done this kind of project before, so I had really no expectations. I thought of the outcome of how I wanted to look. I just wasn't sure how to get there. So now I'm painting over with the chalk paint, and it kind of gave it like a clay feeling, and I love it. And so I didn't expect that though, and I don't know why. So if you know, let me know in the comments, but I'm sure it has something to do with the material and using the acrylic paint first, but it kind of got like lumpy. And again, I love the way it came out, so I am not complaining. And I ended up doing 2 coats of the acrylic and 2 coats of the chalk paint. And I am cleaning this all up because I am going to do my first IOD stamp. I am so excited. I got these from Jamie. Sure, you already know that. But I've never done crock stamps before, so I am so excited. But I was a little nervous because, like I said, this is like almost like a clay kind of feeling now. So I am just taking a stamp pad and I am putting it on the top so that way there's not too much. I actually put the stamp on the back of a card so I could have like almost like a handle when rolling it, if that makes sense, but you'll see. So I put it on, and I pushed it down in the middle, and then I went out to the sides, and then I just peeled it up. Again, my first time, guys. Get ready for it. So exciting. Look at it. My first time. Look at that. I am so impressed. I really am. I'm so happy. So I do it again on the back. It didn't come out as great. So I guess I had beginner's luck. But I am so excited how it came out, and I did exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to sand it down lightly and then add whatever medium you wanted. And again, I just used a regular black stamp pad. And I am so happy, and I can't wait to do more Crocs now. I am so excited. I have so many in my garage because, like I said, I'm a hoarder. So I'm just peeling off the tape now, and my hands look really big compared to this, but this is a big container. So I wanted to make sure if I ever wanted to put food in it again, I still would be able to do that. So I didn't want any paint on the inside because it is a really nice container. You could put cookies in it. Previously I had used it for sugar or maybe flour. I think it was flour, but it's actually a pretty large dish, which you'll see. It's just a funny camera angle. Look how cute it is. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so much. And that's it, guys. Look at it. Oh, it's like a little clay pot, and it looks old, obviously. And I am just so impressed with my first time stamping. I am just so happy. I love it. I love everything about it. We have a bunch of leaves from Michael's. We have some lemons, some Dollar Tree planters, Dollar Tree boxes, some painter's sticks, and some dowels. Everything is going to get a quick coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and linen white, even the planters. And now we're going to make the stems to the lemon tree. I scrunch up some brown paper and I hot glue it around the dowels, and then I paint it with a bunch of browns and greens to make it look like a stem. And then I printed out the word homegrown to go on the base. So here's the base of our planter, and I have a little bit of wood glue and a little bit of hot glue. And I'm just sticking those together. Again, this is going to be the base of our project. So the homegrown, I am tracing it out with a pencil. You could print it out on a Cameo, but I wanted to show this way. You do the whole word, and then you tape it to the top, and then you use a pencil and go over the entire top, and that way you're transferring the pencil underneath to the wood. And then it's very light, so I do go through with a pencil and I just line everything up, and I make sure I can see where I'm gonna go with my paint.
Let's find something new.
So now I take my paint marker and I just go through and fill in all my pencil marks. This font is called 𝚞𝚜𝚎𝚜. And I think it is super sweet. This was super simple, not having to pull out my Cameo and all my transfer paper, my vinyl. This is something you can do for any word you want to use or a picture. So now we're going to start assembling, and we're just going to put the planters inside of this box here. Remember, this is the base to our project, and we hot glue it down. We're going to do the same thing with the stems. We hot glue it right into the planter. Now we're going to be making a lemon tree, but my version of a lemon tree. I am definitely not a gardener, so we have a little bit of weeds, we have the green leaves, and then we have the lemons. And I'm just going through and hot gluing everything to the stems and the lemons to the leaves, and no rhyme or reason. So now I'm making the top part of our planter, and I'm doing the same thing with the wood glue and the hot glue, and I'm putting it right on top, and I'm using those painter sticks to adhere it together. So now we have a whole nother level to start decorating. And again, this is supposed to look like an overgrown lemon tree. And I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. I am just sticking leaves inside of things and hot gluing it just to make it look, again, like it's overgrown. I think this came out super cute, and you could use this for summer or spring decor. I just love the green, and I love the lemons, and I love the white. I think it all goes together so nice.
We need to find. Say you'll go. Don't make me wait. There's no need to hesitate.
I did feel like there was a little bit missing in that corner over there on the left, so I did grab another little white flower and I just stuck it in there with a little bit of hot glue.
Let's find something new.
And I think this came out so adorable, and it's pretty big, and I just am in love with it. This is something I wanted to share with you guys as my creativity project. I love it so much. If you saw my thrift haul from Wednesday, you'd see that I got 3 cork placemats, and I have an idea for 2 of them. So here I am making some frame pieces. I've never done this before. This is my new little gadget. This will be down in my description if you want to pick one up, but I am doing this all by myself. Look how nice they came out. And I am coloring it with the color Celery, and I love this color. I don't normally use this color, but I'm trying to get a little adventurous and add some color to my life. Well, it's springtime, so it's a nice spring color. Now here I am painting the front of the cork board, and I went through with an apple barrel white, and I ended up using a chalk paint plaster as my top coat. And I do a couple coats of this, so you'll see that. But I wanted to take a quick second to mention all of my subscribers. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey, I am super excited to see some new faces, and I hope you are all loving my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and you'll be notified when I upload a new video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Now I am just adding in the frame pieces, and they came out pretty amazing, if I do say so myself. My husband did help a little bit with the sawing, but here I am just adding some Gorilla wood glue and a little bit of hot glue, and I'm just going around the edges and making sure everything's lined up. There are a few pieces that didn't line up exactly, but you really cannot see it. And it looks perfect, I think. Let me know what you think, but I think it's pretty darn good. So I went to my Cameo and I printed out a little saying. Again, this is gonna be a little picture for spring, and I had an idea what I wanted. I did go to the internet to look at a bunch of other ideas, and I just thought this was perfect. Well, hello spring. Maybe you say it in a different way, but that's how I say it. So first, I just make sure there's no bubbles, so that way you get a nice adherence of the paint, and I'm going through with my top coat of paint, so that way it doesn't bleed through. And now I'm going through with that celery color, and I thought it was gonna look really nice to play off of the frame pieces. I do end up putting brown paper on the back of this to cover up the cork board because I got some paint on it, but I just wanted to kind of go around the edges and make sure everything looked finished. I do like to use brown pieces on all my projects, so if you ever see something that looks messy, just know at the end of it, I always put brown paper on the back, only because I sell at the flea market and I want my pieces to be finished. So I did peel up a little bit of paint here, but I went through and fixed it up. You can't even tell. And I am just loving how adorable this is. I love the font that I use. I just think it came out so sweet. I'll put this font down in the description. Now I wanted to add some flowers to this, but I wasn't really sure which flowers. I had a couple of ideas, so I asked for advice in my story on Instagram, and these little flowers won. I am on Instagram and Facebook as Freckled Mom. Beware though, I talk about delicious food and mom life and all the in-between. And so I'm just kind of placing these guys where I thought it would go. I wanted it to be kind of like whimsical. I didn't want it to be overpowering, and I just wanted a little bit, you know? So I just went through and I took my little wire cutters and just cut off a couple little flowers, and then I hot glued it down to where I wanted it and hot glued down where the flower was gonna be, just so it didn't move around. And then I went through with this little guy, and I just think he adds just a perfect little touch. It's just so darling. And then I did make a little twine bow. I am not the best at bows, so I just took 2 pieces of twine, and you'll see, but I just wrapped it together, made a little bow, and I pulled it nice and tight, and I put it on after, just because, like I said, I'm not that great with the bows. And oh my goodness, that bow just gives it that perfect touch. If you hear the puppy, he is having fun with his new toy over there. Don't mind him. I love how this came out. It is so cute, perfect for spring, not too heavy, can really go in any room. I have it hanging up on a wall, but you could just lean it up against something. And I am just so proud of myself with the frame, so now I can frame anything, really. I am just so excited. For this first project, we are doing a reverse canvas, and you'll need a design towel, a canvas, pack of carrots, Waverly and celery, and a glue gun. I used a razor blade and I cut off the canvas, but keep this for later. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, hey. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and if you like crafting and DIYs, please consider subscribing so you can see when I upload new videos. I'm deciding if I want the fabric inside or outside. After I measure for the inside, I cut it out. My style isn't specific, so I was excited to try my hand at a little bit rustic. My channel is all about creativity. I do many DIYs for our home and gifts for others. I love Dollar Tree crafts as well as flipping thrift items. Sometimes we go shopping and sometimes we'll organize stuff. If you like these kinds of videos, make sure you click the bell so you're notified a new video comes out. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So now I'm going in with that Waverly celery and I'm just painting the frame because this is going to be a reverse frame. So here I'm adhering the towel to the back of the frame. I do this to all 4 sides.
I just want you, I just need you. I don't know what it is you do.
You can see here that the H is covered up a little bit, so I tried to push over the towel just a little bit and glue it to that spot. You can tell what it says, but I wish I used a little bit bigger of a frame, but it still looks adorable. So I'm just gonna finish hot gluing everything. And then remember, I told you to keep the canvas that we cut off because we're gonna put that on the back of this, and that just gives it some more security, and if you're gonna give it as a gift, it just makes it look a little bit more finished. And now I'm going through with the carrots, and there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just gonna hot glue them to the frame. I thought it would add a little embellishment and add to the cuteness.
Whenever I see you, you stole my heart. What is it that you do? My life was great till you added colors.
you can see there, I'm a little annoyed by that stem, so I go through and I just snip it off. You don't need it, and that way you can see the 25 cents much clearer.
You're my heart's desire.
I think this project came out so cute and definitely rustic, if I have to say so myself.
Tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself.
This isn't exactly summer, but you'll see how it correlates. So these are just some Dollar Tree coasters, and you buy them singly. So that's $4 for these coasters. So sometimes you can buy them cheaper at other stores. Like you can buy a pack of them for $3, you know, $3 for 4 of them, or however it works. But these were ones from the dollar store, and I'm taping them off. I plan on painting them. And now I'm just going through. I did do 3 coats, and I'm using that Walmart paint that you buy right off the shelf, and it's in antique white, and it's really made for walls, but I like to use this from time to time, and I think it did great, had a great coverage. Again, I used 3 coats, so that way it was completely covered. This is a super easy craft, and you could make this however you wanted to. I wanted it to say love. So each coaster has its own letters, and I'm doing it in the color Chocolate Sprinkle. So you see here, I had printed these letters off my Cameo, and I'm going to stencil them. Now you want to definitely make sure, like I said on the previous project, you want to get all the air bubbles out and make sure that the stencil is adhered very well so you don't have any bleed through. I did still get a little bit of bleed through, but... And I had printed these out to match each other. I think they were printed out in 3 inches. But whatever it works for you, just so it's pleasing to your eye. Now I didn't get all the air bubbles out of that one, but as long as the edge is good, I'm okay with it. Now this, instead of the O, I did a paw print, and of course that's how it correlates. It's not summer, but it goes with my dog sign from the beginning. And you guys know that we have dogs and a cat, and we love our fur babies, so this is definitely one of my favorite things that I've made, and I use it still every day. So everything I make, if it's not decor to hang on your wall, I try to make it functional. Now I did 2 coats of that paint, and everything that I'm using today I'm going to put down in my description so you can check out if you missed the name of the colors. And I'm just cleaning it up. I did get a little bit of bleed through, that's okay. And I'm just gonna go around and do the same thing and weed out any of my letters. You guys know I love my weeding. And look at that paw print. Oh my goodness, it is so sweet. I love this so much. I also sprayed it with some Mod Podge so that way it's waterproof. Okay, so this is a stool my sister had given me years ago. I took off that pink fabric and I painted the legs in my chalk paint linen white after I primed it. I've never used this paper before, but this is Tim Holtz collage paper. It's very thin, like tissue paper, and you're going to Mod Podge this on. Well, at least that's what I did. I cut these off to go on the legs that I had painted white, and I cut them in all these little pieces, but I really needed a lot of them. now I'm just going on each leg. I put some Mod Podge down first, and then I put the paper right over that Mod Podge, and I smooth it out with my fingers, and then I just keep going with the Mod Podge and my brush, and I rub it down, I smooth it with my finger, and I just keep going all the way around. I do it on the bottom of the paper, and then I also do it on the top of the paper. I go and do this for all of them. So some of them were a little easier than others, only because how I cut it. I think if I had cut them all bigger, it would have been easier. So the smaller ones seem to want to rip a little bit or just not fit very great. So definitely next time I'm gonna do bigger chunks of paper instead of cutting them so small. All in all, this paper was super easy to use and it was so pretty, and I ordered 3 different designs, so I cannot wait to try them all. Once I was done with all the placement of the paper, I did go through and I Mod Podged over the entire thing. So all 4 legs, I just went through and Mod Podged everything. I'm definitely not a seamstress. I am very new to this. I've done it on a couple of cushions, but here I am with my canvas, and I just stapled down along the bottom, and then I tucked the extra around the legs. I had originally cleaned it all up. I had taken all the tacks out, and I went to Joann Fabrics and I found the exact same tacks. So here's my husband, he's helping me out. You guys know how I am with hammers, not the best. So I showed him where I wanted them and he helped me out, and I think these gave it such a cute little detail, and I'm so glad that I ended up going this route with the tacks. I think it is super cute. I think I did pretty well for probably like my 5th upholstering job. But like I said, I'm not a seamstress, but it came out so cute, and I think it is just so perfect, and I'm putting it on my deck as a little spot to sit down to take off your boots. And there it is outside, and I think it is just perfect. So I got these arrows from the dollar store, and you can see I have a bunch of different paint colors here. I'm using a baby wipe, and I'm doing like a paint wash. I guess that's the name. I don't know, like a whitewash, but with paint in different colors. So I do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit with a baby wipe and a little bit with a brush, and I'm using ocean and the color pool, agave, and mineral, and I'm just doing it whichever way I want it to look sporadic and very beachy and distressed. So now I had printed out my favorite saying off of my Cameo, and I'm just laying it out onto the arrows, and I had no set way of doing it. They weren't all going to go a certain way, but I knew this little one here was going to hang, so I kept the holes in that one, and I'm just laying them out where I think they look good. And now I'm going to go through with my Mod Podge. I'm going to go right over the entire stencil first, and now I'm going to go through, and I used the darker color ocean, so I didn't use ocean on any of the arrows, so I'm using this color for every arrow for the letters. You do want to make sure that you rub out any of the wrinkles or air pockets before you start, and also make sure you don't have too much paint on your brush or you'll definitely get some bleed through. Now I have my heat gun and I'm just heating up the vinyl before I pull it up. Now there's not too much paint on the arrows, so I'm not really worried about peeling up paint, and if I do peel it up, it's okay because I want it to look distressed anyways. Now I'm going through and I'm weeding out all the letters. I think this is coming out so adorable. I sand down the edges a little bit just so nothing is raised up, and I'm just trying to get a good layout here. And these are 2 painter's sticks from Walmart, so they're a little bit longer, but I need it even longer. So that was just some wood glue and some hot glue making it a little bit longer, and I painted it in my Rust-Oleum linen white, and I didn't go heavy on the paint, just made it, you know, very beachy. So this is Gorilla Wood Glue, and I'm gonna be using this to hold down the arrows and a little bit of hot glue. And this is my new hot glue gun that I got, and it is amazing. I have the link down in the description if you want to take a peek at it. It was really good price, like $23, and it has 2 temps to it. It is great. So that was just a little pin that I put in. I needed a little bit of hammer action, which is always scary. So I put a little bit of twine on the back of this arrow. I did have a couple of different pictures for inspiration. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but you can see where I went with it. And I made this for $7 and not $83. It is so adorable and so coastal for my house. I love it. This first project is 3 Dollar Tree drawers that you can get. They're stackable containers and you can get them at the Dollar Tree. And I took all 3 and I put E6000 and a row of hot glue, and then I laid them on top of each other. They really stack right on top of each other, but I don't want this to move. I spray painted it with heirloom white before I Mod Podged. Now I am going to put my Tim Holtz paper down. You guys know I love this. I do this to all the sides, every side and the top, which not all of it's seen because we have a lot of fun stuff to get to. I do cut off the extra paper, and then I smooth it out and I do another layer of Mod Podge over the top, and this is just to secure it. These drawers are good for any little trinkets. I'm going to use it for extra pictures I have laying around my house. And now I'm going to work on the lining of the drawers. So this is just some black felt that I also got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting it down to size. I had measured the inside of the drawer, and I just used my fabric cutter, and I have all 3 drawers now ready to go. And I do a layer of Mod Podge, and then a string of hot glue, and then a little bit of hot glue just in the corners. I don't want too much. And then I just lay down that felt and I rub it down with my fingers and just make sure it's nice and smooth. You guys know how I am about my function. I want it to be pretty, but I also want it to function. So I'm doing the same thing to all 3 drawers. They get the Mod Podge, the hot glue, and then the black felt. You could use whatever color you want. I thought this would look nice with that Tim Holtz paper. These are little library tags that I got off of Amazon, and I just traced it out so I know how much I need to paint. I'm gonna paint it black, but I want it to look like it's all the way black, if that makes sense. You'll see. And these library tags, like I said, I got off of Amazon, and you can go down to my description and find the link if you want to get these. I have seen them at the dollar store, not personally, but through other people's videos. I'm just using a black paint pen to do all this black. And now to put that library tag on, I'm just using a little bit of E6000 and a little bit of hot glue. And then I just hold it down. You do need to hold it down for a while. You do need to let it dry before you start moving it. This isn't the best hold if you start moving it too soon. And now I just have my antique wax. This is my Waverly made by Plaid, and I am just distressing this just a little bit. That Tim Holtz paper is super antique looking, and I wanted this to look a little bit old with that library tag. I think this is super cute. And again, I'm just putting pictures in this, but how adorable is that? You could do so much with this. You could put craft supplies in it, or maybe little toys for the kids. Super cute. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this, but also, have you seen these stackable containers before? This was my first time. I found these in the kitchen section. Who would have thought? What a transformation. And here we go. This is my favorite. I am in love with this. This tray is so ugly. I'm sorry. It was $5.99, a little expensive, but I really liked it. I painted it again in my linen white, and now I'm gonna do some resin. I wanted to use this in my coffee bar. So this is a 2-part resin. There's casting resin and casting hardener. So this, you just mix it together, 1-to-1 ratio for 5 minutes, and then you roll it all out. I was advised to use a stick here, so I used a stick and it worked out perfect. And you have 30 minutes to get it where you want it. So I just smoothed it out wherever I wanted it, and then I took my heat gun. You can use a torch. I have a heat gun. I blew out the bubbles, and then I let it sit overnight, and now I'm going to make some handles out of leather. This was a little leather patch I had bought from Michael's. I just measured how long across and how long it is around the handle, and that's it. So hot glue does not work that great with leather, but I got it to the wood first, and you can see that. And then I went through with my spray adhesive, and this is a permanent spray adhesive, and I sprayed it to the leather, wrapped it around over that hot glued piece, and then wrapped it underneath. And then I held it there, and it is so cute. I'm in love with this so much, and that resin is just gonna make this so if we spill coffee, we can just wipe it right up. Look at that. That's it, guys. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. I love this so much. I was gonna add a stencil, and I thought it was just perfect as is. Staying with the theme here, vintage garden. This is a tag from the dollar store. I painted it in that same plaster paint and distressing it with my antique wax. Another one of these transfers here. I might be becoming obsessed. They are so simple to use and so pretty. You have to give it a nice rub down with something hard, and then the peel up is so simple, and then you just seal it with whatever your favorite sealer is. I like Mod Podge. It's easy and versatile. How adorable is that? Oh my goodness. Let me know down in the comments what you think. How cute is this? Oh, I think it's one of my favorites. This first project is probably my favorite. I am totally in love with it. I took 6 Dollar Tree boxes and I glued them together. So I used a combination of wood glue and hot glue. And I didn't do too much glue, just enough, and then I pushed them together, and I do this for all 6 of them. Now, if I was to do this again, I would have done the 3 bottom ones and then the 3 top ones separately, and then put them together. And you can see what I did here, and it's a little uneven, so that's why I'm suggesting that for you guys. Then I went out to my garage and I spray painted this box in Kills Chalk Paint Juniper Blue, and I love this color. I'm Mod Podging this and laying down some napkins. My father-in-law got me these awesome napkins. They are so pretty and definitely shabby chic. And then I do another layer of Mod Podge on it. Now here I'm gonna go a little faster, only because I recorded it in time lapse. So here I just do some Mod Podge again, a nice generous coat of it, and then I lay the napkin down. You want to make sure that it's a single ply napkin. That way you get the best adherence. If you do a 2-ply napkin, the top piece of the napkin is just going to pull up. So always do a 1-ply and then cover it with your Mod Podge after. And I just love this design. It is so pretty. I never even asked him where he found these napkins. I just love them so much. He gave me some placemats, the napkins, and some paper plates. And I just think they are so shabby chic and adorable. And you guys know I definitely use these designs when I do my different papers. So I totally love this. And I think this is so cute for this box. Again, it's going to be a little box with 6 different cubbies. After it's dry, I do take some sandpaper and I rub down. You can see what I'm doing, but I rub down away from the paper, and that just takes away the extra paper and it gives it a nice clean finish. You don't need to use a razor blade or scissors. I think this is the best way. And then you can just sand it off so that way you have a nice even edge. Then you're going to see I use my higher grit sandpaper to go over the entire box just to smooth it out. I had painted the drawers in a Rust-Oleum rose gold metallic finish. So here they are, and then I drilled holes in the front, and this is so I can put little drawer knobs on. So I had gone to the store looking for drawer knobs. I found a pack of 6. They're super pretty. So here I am going through the hole that's already there just to give that nail somewhere to go. And look at those guys. I just turned them on and they are so adorable. Oh my goodness. I just love the colors. I love the paper. Everything is so sweet. Let me know down in the comments what you think. I had gotten this sign from my son's girlfriend when she cleaned out her room. It's pretty large, so I got it for free, which I love. So I'm just gonna give it 2 good coats of my plaster chalk paint. Now, like I said, this was really big and it's canvas, so I had to really give some thick coats to cover up those words. I also went along the edges with my elephant, which is another Waverly paint, just to give it a little contrast to that plaster paint. I went to my Cameo and I printed out some words, and I'm super excited how adorable this came out. You want to be careful because it is canvas, so you want to go through with a little bit of Mod Podge just to seal it in to reduce bleed through. I am filling in the stencil with my truffle paint by Waverly, which is a plaid product. I'm not going to go heavy on this because you definitely don't want it to bleed through, and I do 2 coats. If you're new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. We do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts, DIY, gifts and decor, thrift flipping, and more. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and subscribe. To all my current subscribers and Freckled fam, thank you. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Now I get my heat gun out and I heat up the vinyl before I pull it up. You want to be real careful when you're pulling up your vinyl on fabric or on canvas because sometimes it peels up the letters. It looks like I'm not being careful, but I am being super careful. I just sped it up a little bit for you guys. This is coming out so adorable. I had saw something like this online and I went to my Cameo and I made my own stencil. That way it's just a little different than everything I see online. I'm glad I used my heat gun because really nothing bled through and nothing ripped up, which was great. So now I'm just cleaning up and weeding a little bit. There are some letters that did peel up just a little bit, so I am gonna go through and I'm gonna just do a little Mod Podge just to make sure everything is secure and on my board. How adorable is this? This is so sweet and gives me all the feels for fall. I am so excited to get going on my home decor for the new season coming up. So let's jump right into this porch. So I shared this faux mantle that I had found on the side of the road over the weekend, and I had asked you guys some ideas, and I definitely listened to your ideas, and this was just such a beautiful piece to literally find on the side of the road. I love it so much. I love the character. I love everything. So I went through first. I didn't want to do the power washer because I thought it would be way too strong and just ruin this wood. This is like flaking off and super old, but it was very, very dirty. And so I just went through with my hose at first, and I'm sorry for the angle, but this is what we got, guys. And then I went through with a wire brush first, and I'm going through and I'm scraping off any of the loose paint that I can get right off the bat with the wire brush. And it's not super thick. If I can find a link for it, I will, and I'll put it down in my description. Now this is really just looking where I want the paint to, because the paint's already coming off. So this is just me trying to figure out how much more paint needs to come off, because you could really sand this entire thing down. I thought this was some kind of, porcelain or cast iron. I'm not really sure what I thought, but it's all wood, which is okay because that makes it easier for me, I think, to seal it in. Now you can see here that I am just scrubbing this with some crud cutter and water and a regular kitchen scrub brush. Nothing special here. So I had asked my friend Jamie what is the best way to preserve this, and she said to take a paint scraper and take off as much as I wanted and then seal it. So you know what? This collaboration is with Jamie, so I appreciate her input and I really love everything that she does. So I definitely wanted to listen to that advice. So here I am just using some polyurethane and I'm going over this and I'm just doing a nice thick coat. I'll put this down in my description, and I did 2 coats of this, and that was just to seal in where the paint was chipping, because I really wanted that chippy look. I just didn't want to, have, animals inhaling paint chips all over the place. Hey Mike, you excited for my porch reno? Looks like Miko's excited too. So we had my friend over, well, my husband's best friend, over for the day, and he helped out bringing this monstrosity up to its new resting place. I am so in love with this piece. This is going to be my staple. This is going to be where I decorate for different seasons, and I'm just so excited that I found this piece, and I'm just so happy that it's here, and I love everything about it. Like, I'm just so excited. I'm too excited. I've named her Henrique because her first storm she had to withstand and stay strong for me during the Hurricane of Henry. I'm not sure how they said it, but anyways, this piece is just gorgeous. I love all the detail and that glass. I'm just so excited to share the rest with you guys. So let's jump right in. So we are going to be making 3 lanterns, 2 smaller ones and 1 larger one. And I'm going to put all the dimensions and measurements down in my description. So first we were cutting the tops and the bottoms. Now there's a whole bunch of different measurements. So again, go down to my description. You're going to see a little assembly line here. So we just went and painted over with some Rust-Oleum linen chalk paint. And I just did 1 coat on all sides, top, bottom, and sides. And again, we did a little assembly line because we're going to be assembling all of this together. So we have large jumbo sticks and small coffee stirrers. So we have the 8x10 frames for the larger lanterns and the 5x7 frames for the smaller lanterns. So my husband is going through and he's pulling out all those little metal pieces that hold the glass in because we don't need it. We're going to be hot gluing it. So here I already had my roller out, so I did 3 coats on these 5x7 frames. So next time I would do whatever color the lantern is what color I would buy the frames, because I had to paint these, you know, and it bled through. But it's up to you guys. So I did 3 coats of that Rust-Oleum linen chalk paint. I have 4 5x7s for each lantern. So we're doing 2 small lanterns, and we're going to use all these coffee stirrers, and this is to make window panes. So you could use small popsicle sticks. I use coffee stirrers, and then I use the large craft sticks from Walmart for the 8x10 lanterns. So here is the back side, and we are going to do some hot glue and Star Bond for a permanent hold. And we're doing it on the back, and then we do a layer of glue on top as well, just to secure it, because it is going to be standing upright. So here are the smaller coffee sticks, and I'm just measuring them and cutting them down to size. Then I do a mixture of Star Bond glue and hot glue to adhere it to the glass. Any glue that seeps out, you can just use something sharp and just scrape it off because it's glass. Now again, down in my description is all the measurements and all the amounts of stirrers and craft sticks and frames that I use for this whole project. So we're just going to keep going. Now we're going to make the window pane part. So we're doing the same thing, but this time I just cut it for the top and the bottom. So we do one straight across, and then one shorter one for the top and one shorter one for the bottom. And again, that is my Star Bond glue and my hot glue. I think that is the perfect mixture of glue. It's super strong, super durable. Everything I use that I can find on Amazon is linked down below in my Amazon store and in the description. So now we're working on the 8x10 frames. So this is for the larger lantern. We're going to do the exact same thing, but this time it's with the larger craft sticks. And I'm just using my miter shears to cut it. And we're going to do the Star Bond glue and the hot glue gun. And then the same thing to make the window pane. We're going to do one smaller piece on top and one smaller piece on the bottom. And I think this came out super adorable. So now I am just going to put some hot glue and some Star Bond glue on the picture frames and then just adhere them. And you do want to leave these to dry overnight before you add the tops and the bottoms, just so that way there's a really good hold on it. Having an extra set of hands definitely helps when you're putting on that 4th piece, but it's not required. So again, to add to the bottom, this is the bottom of the lantern. We just did hot glue and Star Bond, and I just placed it right on top and let it dry. And now we're going to assemble the top of the lantern. So this again, Star Bond, hot glue, and we're going to make 3 layers of it. And all the measurements are down in the description. So we're going to not glue the top though, so we can add embellishments. Okay, so this is again the 8x10 now. We're doing the same thing, hot glue, Star Bond, and just put the sides on to each other. And then put the top one on like that. So we're only gluing these to the bottom. The top is free because you can see I have some greenery in there and some pine cones. This round thing is a spray painted PVC pipe, whatever you have that is round. And it's just to make it look like a handle. And then I just threw in some white nautical rope and I hot glued it together. You can see here I'm just taping it and cutting it. The tape is just so it doesn't fray. And then I'm hot gluing it just so it's all together in case it comes undone inside that PVC pipe. So I do put the rope through the PVC pipe and then I hot glue it to each other so it doesn't come out. And then I do the hot glue and the Star Bond glue right to the top. Now I wanted to add a little Christmas embellishment, so I just have some Dollar Tree ornaments here and some bells. I'm hot gluing the bells to the Dollar Tree ornaments. These I just used a push pin and I stuck them right to the top of the lantern. I am so in love with how these came out. For my first time doing lanterns, I think these are pretty amazing. And like I said, you do not glue the top, so that way you can fill it up. Right now there is pine and some pine cones, but we can change it up for the different seasons. And I am just so in love with this. I think it just adds that added high-end look to my front porch. And of course, at nighttime, it is adorable. These are just some LED lights that I got at Walmart. Let me know down in the comments what you would have used for the inside of this lantern, and what do you think about mine? Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. Don't forget, I am a Club Couture designer. If you're looking for transfers or you want to join my team and work from home, send me a message or comment below. I hope I see you guys in the new year and you are welcoming 2022 refreshed and ready to start a new year. I have a lot coming up, so make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell, so that way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. But I want to thank you guys so much for this past year of all the love and support you've given me on Freckled Mom DIY.